were attracted to trading in the first place. It's not trading itself that is difficult. It's the type of person it attracts. It attracts lazy retards for the most part. People who think that the markets are an ATM. People who think that they're going to get a laptop and live on the beach and trade 2 hours a day and trade from their phone and all this kind of shit, and they're just going to make endless money, and it's just going to print out of thin air and land in their bank account because they believe what they say on Instagram. Obviously, that's not the case. But this is the thing. It's like if you took all the top graduates from all the top schools and put them into trading, top math and computer science graduates, do you think they have a 90% failure rate within trading? They don't. And in fact, that's not even hypothetical, because all the best math and all the best computer science graduates do go into finance, because it's the only place to make money, and they can make insane money. You might have maybe 10% of those students who go off and do something else because they truly love the field. Most of them get shipped straight into finance, and they're building the systems. They're the quants, essentially, who are building the systems and the algos that are battling against you and me. And 90% of those guys are winners. So it's not about the trading, or it's not about, the market itself. It's the type of person it attracts from a retail perspective. And you have to be honest with yourself. That is you. It's very easy to sit, and for me as well, to sit and say, this type of trader or retail traders are this, speak in generalities about the market, but it is you. That is who I'm talking. I'm speaking to you because you're that type of person. You were attracted to trade probably because you don't want to work for someone else. Now, there's some people who are entrepreneurial and have a skill set that will suit them to trading, and they genuinely do not want to have a boss, and they genuinely have a skill and a discipline for trading, and they can make a career of it. So yes, not everybody who doesn't want to work for a boss is lazy, but most people who say they want to be their own boss or they don't want to have a boss, they're usually lazy. So if that's you, that's fine. Just admit it to yourself. I'm not going to be finding out. I'm not going to be DMing every one of you asking, are you a lazy cunt or not? You'll find out yourself. At the end of the day, it's no skin off my nose. I would say I don't care. Of course, I want everyone in this course to make money or to make a career out of trading if that's their goal, or to make a side income from trading, absolutely. But it's not my prerogative to make you something you're not. So just be honest with yourself and say, what is this me? Am I in trading for the right reasons? Am I trading because I have a set of skills that would adapt to it? Am I trading because I inherently love financial markets and the history of them and the way they move and why they move and the intricacies of it? Am I trading because I'm deep in the crypto space and have a lot of technical knowledge from a baseline perspective that would give me an edge over the average user? Which again is a good edge in itself, If you happen to know everything about the Phantom ecosystem, or just the Phantom, blockchain itself, well then take the scalping course and learn your system and apply it to Phantom, because then you've got all the skills with the trading side and you've got the deep technical knowledge of one particular chain. That's an extra edge in itself, right? So that's a potential. Now, is that you? Or do you think the market's an ATM? Do you think you click buttons, make money, and just get rich and chill on the beach and trade off your phone? If you do, that's fine. But I'm here to tell you that's bullshit. You will fuck everything up if you trade like that. Okay? So it's not too late to change. Change now. So it doesn't matter what strategy or tools you use. You will fail if you trade without a plan. Now, you can scalp Bitcoin, day trade alts, you can buy and hold spot, using fundamental analysis. Honestly, you can trade fucking moon cycles if you want. But your number one failure will always be straying from your rules and taking a bad trade. Before this course, you just thought of it as a bad trade. Now, you're going to know that it's not a bad trade, it's a deviation from your system. All right, so we'll flip that in your head and change that wording. There's no such thing as just, taking an unlucky trade or a bad trade or a fucked up this or that. No, you deviated from your system because your system has no bad trades. Okay? I'll repeat that. Your system has no bad trades. Your system has losing trades. Your system has winning trades. Your system doesn't have a bad trade. There's no such thing. Because your system is a defined set of rules, which we're about to build. Your plan and system are interchangeable here. Your plan is a defined set of rules created by you based on data or whatever, and you either follow it or you don't. And if you don't follow it, you've deviated from the plan. All right? And that's a bad trade. That's your new definition of a bad trade. So we're talking about the trades that you know you shouldn't be taking, but you still do it. All right? So you're trading the New York session. You get 2 nice winners in the first hour and a half. A bit of a lull in the session, as there typically is in the middle of it. A couple hours go by, there's no real volatility. You decide to jump into a trade anyway. You basically force a trade. You trade out of boredom. Of course, it goes tits up. You had those 2 winners, you were on a high, you were feeling confident, you got that fallacy, the gambler's fallacy, thinking that the 2 winners leads to another winner, which it doesn't. You take another trade, because you thought you were on a hot streak. Of course, it loses. Then you get in your head. Then you're overthinking things. Then you get on tilt. Then you start to chase your loss. See how these things spiral? And it goes from one deviation from your system to, fuck it. It's kind of like the fat chick who doesn't stop eating. She goes on a diet for like 35 minutes. And then she just sees the donuts and she goes, it's just one. And she has a donut. And she's like, fuck it. I've had one now. I'll start again tomorrow. And she just gorges all night. That's the same thing with your trading. It's the human condition. You are battling yourself here. But when you stick to your system, get 2 nice winners, then you fuck it up with 1 deviation, you don't just stop there. You say, fuck it, I've broken my system now. I might as well double up my position size and try to get this money back. And then, of course, you're compounding your losses instead of your wins. So, maybe you design a system that's based around volatility, but then you end up trading in the chop because you're impatient or greedy. That's a very common one. You've got a solid system that relies on you entering and exiting at the extremes. So say we're in a tight trading range between 42 and 45. Well, your trading system, and we've traded there for 2 days, your trading system will be when we break below 42 and we reclaim, I'll go long because that's a deviation. If we break above 45 and we fall back into the range, I'll go short because that's a deviation. Very simple volatility-based system. But, of course, you have to sit for 2 days waiting on that setup, and between 42 and 45, you start taking longs and shorts, and you get chopped up. And by the time you do get your setup, you're probably in such a low confidence state, and you're on tilt so much that you don't even take that trade, or you take it in the opposite direction, because you're all fucked up, and you make it even worse. So not only did you lose in the chop, but you missed your great trade setup, and then you see that after, you say, fuck, that's a trade I would have taken. You get into tilt more, you chase, because it's going to take you another 2 days to get the next setup, and you missed the one that you had. You can see how these things spiral and snowball and end up completely out of control. So, obviously that's something we want to avoid. And other deviations or other examples of not using a plan, FOMOing into a coin because you see someone else talk about it, or because you see it shilled on Twitter, or the worst one is when you see, after the fact, you hear about some big news, you see the big green candle, you think, fuck, this is going to keep going up, and you jump in. And of course, that big green candle was only created in order to trap you and sell into you. So, you must focus on the science of trading before the art. Alright? As I said in Module 1, you have no right to make subjective decisions on a trade until you have a proven mechanical rules-based system that's already profitable. Okay? Until you have a system that you know is airtight by just following the rules, then that's all you do. What's the point in adding discretion to a system before you even know if the system works? All right, we'll get into this a little more in the execution side, but when I talk about that mechanical rules-based system, I always talk about taking 100 trades. You take 100, let's keep it super simple, okay? Whenever Bitcoin hits 30 on the RSI on the 1 hour, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. That's my rule, okay? And my stop loss goes below the most recent market structure low on the 1 hour, and my target is the nearest market structure high. Really simple system. You're just basically buying Bitcoin when it hits 30 on the 1 hour RSI. You take that trade 100 times, you realize that you get 43 winners. There's a 43% win rate. You realize that the average return of those winners is a little over 1.4, let's say. And then you calculate that out, so you get 43 winners, an average of 1.4. Well, that doesn't quite make enough. It's 43 times 1.4 is going to be somewhere around 50. 53. So that'd be 53 are returned, but you obviously had 57 losers, and so you end up with an unprofitable system. But you've got a system that's almost break even, it's practically break even, and all you had done was just the one thing, just RSI 30 1 hour. Now once you've done that, that could be where you add in discretion. Because in those 100 trades, you'd of course have been journaling them and keeping track, and might have realized other patterns within that. And you might have said, well, so actually, the times that Bitcoin hit the 30 RSI on the 1 hour on a Monday and a Tuesday, they actually had a strike rate of 75%. Because typically, we drop early in the week, meaning that the RSI, if it dips down low early in the week, is more likely to be, a dip that gets bought, and then we rally into the week close. Something like that. And you would have known that from watching the trades, but you let the 100 trades play out, and then you come back to it and you say, I add that little bit of discretion, and you put that discretionary rule in, and then suddenly your trade system is profitable. So that's one example. And, a trading plan is essentially all you need to be a systematic trader. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be complex. You can simply write down a few key conditions and just stick to them. So, into the nuts and bolts of actually building a plan. So your trading plan must include your trading goals for the month, for the quarter, for the year. So that's trading goals as in what you want to achieve, as well as profit targets. So goals in trading are not just about profit. Goals can be as simple as no deviations from my plan in this month, or maximum of 2 deviations from the plan this quarter. Your trading goals might involve testing 3 systems. So I want to test 3 new systems, 100 trades per system. Now, of course, you can do that paper trading. This doesn't have to be live trading, but the point of it is if you're testing that system, you need to get through those 100 trades mechanically to figure out, has it got some edge? And so that could be one of your goals, is to actually do that work. Because that's like especially when it's paper trading, that's the boring menial type work. That's like sweeping the storeroom and filling in the paperwork. But that's the shit that ends up leading to you getting your paycheck at the end of the week. You know, it's just putting in that groundwork, and that can be one of your goals. Don't just put your goals down as I want to make 250k this year, because that's bullshit anyway. It should be percentage terms. So when we get into bankroll management, etc., we'll talk about that more. But when you talk about trading goals for a month, quarter, year, always think in percentages. So my trading goal for the month is to make 10%. My trading goal for the month is to make 20%. Okay? Whatever that may be. And of course, make sure it's grounded in some type of fact. You know, you can't just arbitrarily say, oh, I'm going to make 20% every month, because that's